Howdy, my name is Rebeca Barrera, and I chose the film As Good as It Gets. So, As Good as It Gets is a film that follows our main character, Melvin Udall, through his everyday life in New York in 1997. Because it was in the 90s, baseline mental health was not very, it was pretty taboo and it wasn't seen as normal as much as it is today. An obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD, is what he had, and it's a disorder that causes unwanted thoughts and or fears that lead to repetitive behaviors. The evidence that he had OCD is, well, one, he was diagnosed with it in the movie. He went to a therapist where they talked about it, as well as we see him doing compulsive hand washing, which is a really typical thing that people usually represent OCD with. So he opens up his cabinet and it's filled with soap, different kinds of soap, or no, same kinds of soap in different wrappers that he unwraps and washes his hands with in extremely hot water, which a lot of people with contamination OCD use because it is seen as like more clean. And then also repetitive door locking, and whenever he walks into his apartment, he closes his door and he locks it 5 times. Treatment for OCD could falls into 3 different treatments, which is medication therapy and psychotherapy. So medications such as SSRIs, anxiolytics, and antidepressants have been proven to reduce unwanted thoughts that cause disorder. And this was the medication that Mr. Udall was given in the movie to help him. Therapy is also used, but it is also seen as a taboo, especially in that time. It was seen as feminine or only for crazy people, and that like it wouldn't be right for him to go because he would be seen as an outcast basically. So therapy wasn't used, but it can be used today to help lessen and control unwanted thoughts that lead to the repetitive compulsions, which is really like what is a main part of that. Or in extreme cases, psychotherapy can be used. Deep brain stimulation, or DBS, is used to regulate abnormal impulses instead of abnormal or unwanted thoughts. But this raises ethical concerns because it's a lot to do with um, your brain, and that's really just like a lot of people have their opinions about that. So the broader perspective of this whole thing is how it is actually represented, or if it was represented correctly. And I am someone who suffers from OCD, not the same types that he has, but OCD in general. And so I believe that it did a really good job. This one did a good job of representing OCD, especially because the actor would come in and not forget compulsions. He wouldn't forget to do certain things. He would do certain things all the time, which is really a lot seen in OCD. And so not only did they show the hand washing, which is a very, it's a thing that they show a lot with OCD in media or in anything. People usually it's washing hands, washing hands. So they did show that, but they also showed a broader form of it, such as his everyday life and how it affects it, especially with the walking in certain ways on the sidewalk or trying to get through and trying to be that sort of way on the sidewalk in some scenes. That I think was very representative, and I think this one did a great job. So these are my credits, or where I got my information from. And thank you. Again, my name is Rebeca Barrera. I am in Psych 107, and my professor is Dr. Gaylord-Harden. Thank you.